Previously on Legend of the Flaming Heteros.
As this is just a random nerd just jumps in front of the insult and takes the 10 damage.
I think you'll find the door release mechanism!
You just need to watch this YouTube video!
You have to remove the speaker panel!
So you just take in this deep puff, and then it's like this roaring inferno just blasts out, and you incinerate the nerd. Also, though, there's like a backwash of it, and you both take 48 damage.
Boomslang is down as fuck. Boomslang is down. Zazbalaz is just kind of like wandering around his kind of garden, this meaty garden.
Meaty garden. That is the worst sentence that anyone has said.
I'm not the one who invented a 3-story house made of meat, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
And Zazbalaz says, "Oh, hi there. How can I help you? 3 wonderful pieces of meat."
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the nearby city to see a marching band, and he said, "Like,
what did he
son,
say?
When you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned?" He said, "Will you defeat them? Your demons and all of the non-believers, the plans that they've made. Because one day, I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade." And just like at that point, I was looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Good evening and welcome back to Science and Sorcery's The Legend of the Flaming Heteros. My name is Dagmar. I am, as always, joined by our wonderful DM Alex and my fellow players Sam, Jasmine, and Khalil. 2 of those players are potentially on thin ice.
No idea what you mean, Overlord.
But we'll forgive them for what they got up to last week. It was a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure my character Archie Marin will have a few things to say about this, should he ever meet Reginar again. But that we'll deal with that if and when it happens. For now, let's rejoin our companions as we continue our adventure. But before we do that, one quick announcement. It is Pride Month. Yay! Air horns. And because it's Pride Month, we are doing 3 charity one-shots this month instead of 1. We've done our first, the Isle of Kratos Part 2, Velocilicious. Shockingly, spoilers, no one died?
We got pretty close.
You get really close.
I was making death saves.
You were. There were several death saves happening, but there was also a surprise guest who managed to save the party. Some would argue he doomed them in the first one-shot, though. So if you haven't watched that yet, it is up on YouTube. You can also watch it on Twitch at the moment. So go do that, and come back on Friday, probably 7 PM BST, for our next one-shot, which I forget the name of, but it is Drag Race with Dragons.
Yeah, it's very, very complicated name. I can't remember either. But,
and then next week, Wednesday? When is the 29th? On the 29th, which I believe is a Wednesday, yes it is, we will have our last one-shot, which is tentatively titled All That Glitters is Gold. And that should be lots and lots of fun as well. We are raising money for 2 great LGBTQ charities. One is the Transformations Project, and the other is the... I don't know where my other notebook is. Let me see if I can remember. Women's Research Center and GLBTQ plus something. at the University of Central Oklahoma. They help LGBTQ people. Whatever the fuck the...
This is going so well. Chaos.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing it still says "fuck shit up" for the party.
It's still,
in
it's still
the
useful,
banner.
right?
So
It's
yeah,
still useful.
if you want to help support some LGBTQ charities, please go over to our Ko-fi page and send us some money, and we'll split it all between those charities. Chaos, not quality. If we hit £250 in donations, for every £250, we're going to do a giveaway of some of our merch. We have Science and Sorcery logo stuff, we have Legend of the Flaming Heteros logo stuff, we have our Pride Edition logo, and we have beautiful design. Go check it out on Redbubble of ACAB, which we all know stands for All Capybaras Are Barbarians. Stunningly drawn. We're also going to get Velocilobster merch. I saw the first draft of that today. It is stunning. So go donate, and you might get free things. And also, support queer people. Don't just donate because you might get free things. That's, you know, it's not the right reason to donate. That is all of our announcements. Alex, back to you. I'm gonna shut up now.
Okay. So, following last metaphorical session's adventures in the first round of the Battle of the Bands, you have headed home, got some rest, and have arranged to have a little trip. So, in a particularly quiet back street of Melded lies the Old World Society. Sandwiched between Kawaii Stationery Inc. and Killbot 5000's traditional family pickle shop lies an easily missable archway to a honeysuckle-shrouded courtyard with a small fountain in the middle, a tiny oasis in the hustle and bustle of Melded. On the courtyard is an old mahogany door leading to a meeting place for the people that the annihilation of all creation couldn't kill. There is a slight buzz as you cross the threshold. Anyone who survived the end of the last cosmic Ragnarok has a place here, whether they choose to take advantage of it or not. Each is provided a small suite with which they may do with as they please. Some have never been used. A few serve as small second homes. Several function as the only place willing to house the kind of memoirs that go back tens of billions of years. One is largely used as a storage locker for things bought at car boot sales. Yet it is the breakfast hall you find yourself in. This place is sort of served by unseen servants who sort of drift around, and you go into sort of what looks like the sort of like stereotype of a sort of Victorian adventurer's like gathering hall. There's sort of like elegant mahogany tables and far too many books along the walls. And in there, you see a single figure dressed in a white lab coat and having porridge. Also wearing a top hat.
Perfect.
So that can we see much more about them from this kind of perspective, from this distance? Like, are they, what species might they be? Anything about like gender presentation or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, they've got their back to you at the minute, but they seem they're probably human or human adjacent, probably male, and they're just enjoying the porridge. They look like they've got sort of a bit of a cooked breakfast at the side, and you can see the sort of like tufts of like stereotypical scientist hair, sort of coming out the side of the top hat.
Do remind me on the way out. I do want to stop by the pickle shop. Been meaning to go there for ages. Excuse me. Good morning.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Are we in the right place? We're looking for the Old World Society.
Aye, that's where you be. Oh, you must be the Flaming Heteros.
Yes, we're Sigrid's friends, the Flaming Heteros. I'm Lavinia. This is the rest of my band. Sorry to
Umslang
interrupt
strikes
your
a Freddie
breakfast.
Mercury pose silently behind Lavinia.
Yeah, you might have heard of our
What do you-
performance.
what do you
in
mean
the
your
Battle of the
band?
Bands.
What
Our
do you
band.
mean your band? You said my band. Come on.
Well, yes,
get the
because I am a
terminology
part
right.
of you, as in the band. I introduced myself. This is a perfectly normal way to talk about the band, right? You know. Anyways, sorry. We're very sorry to interrupt your breakfast, but Siegfried didn't actually tell us where to go other than to come here.
Oh, that's not a problem at all. I mean, there's not many of us around at the minute. I apologise profusely, Sam, for this accent.
It's a mini hate crime.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It's like Mike Myers, and you're just below it. Like,
This man's name, incidentally, is Mike Myers.
Nike Nyers.
it is not actually, but we'll find out that later.
It's pronounced Nike.
Yes.
just do it.
So he gestures. So. Firstly, out the sort of large bay window at the end of the room, and there is outside a small. Well, there's a tree stump from which a smaller sort of tree seems to have sort of regrown out of one side of it. We have the night pine is out there. You won't get much conversation out of that one though. I don't know where that accent's drifting now. And I don't care. Who cares?
Keep it going.
Power
Yeah,
through.
keep it going.
What old world are you from?
I mean, at least 2 now. Well, I mean, I'm from the multiverse before the last multiverse.
Sorry. So do you mean we have to talk to the tree?
No, you won't get any information after that.
That's good because my goddess, we use a lot of pine material in our worship, and I don't think I'd have a good relationship with a pine tree.
I mean,
if there's someone we can talk to who's not a pine
that seems
tree,
a little
would be
bit
best.
prejudiced, Lavinia.
It's not. I didn't decide this. IKEA tells me what to do.
So you just follow your deity, whatever they say.
Well, not if they tell me to be too minimalist.
I mean, you've got your diet is 100% meatballs.
No, but the sharks only eat meatballs. You're right about that.
So Regina, there's actually a whiff of recognition to this tree, because you have encountered night pines before.
Oh.
And we flash back to the mountain pyre one shot crossover with the tabletop titties. Where you encountered these strange black needled trees. On the
I spoke to the trees, didn't I? I spoke to the trees, I think.
You may have done, and I can't remember what you said. So
I don't remember what I said.
Real offensive shit.
Yeah,
probably knowing Reginald.
Probably.
I'm gonna burn you down.
But this one looks a lot older than those, and a lot more sort of weathered. I mean, and sort of skipping back. My name is I was going German there for some reason. I'm just going to stop this now. My name is Dr. Jean Vance. I'm probably the only one here today who's going to be much use to you, I'm afraid.
I've got a pretty short attention span. Could you start being of use?
I mean, I don't even know what you guys want. You haven't told me yet.
Boomslang, are you?
I can't remember what we want of him.
Look, I had a rough day yesterday,
rude,
alright?
that's all
I'm
I'm
settling
saying.
into my new skin. I had to shed a couple of layers last night.
Yes, of course.
Lavinia, you remember he hasn't had the chance to bask yet. Like,
That's
Right,
true.
it dragged me out
we are
before
up early. I'm
noon.
sorry.
I mean, that was your decision to come here.
We wanted to ask you about a man named Lord de Merval, the Rift Walker.
Oh, dear, that one again, is it?
Well, yes, possibly, maybe
Well-
not.
Well, I mean, what do you want to know? And I'll try and fill in the blanks.
Right. Well, you might have heard a few days ago some random man in a cloak showed up in the square and said if you kill him, you get to leave. Now, some of my friends here desperately want to leave for reasons important, very important reasons.
Boomslang's fingers flex on the handles of his swords.
Boomslang, stop. He's trying to help.
They're not drawn. It's just like a sign of anticipation, not of violence, just of eagerness.
This is sort of a wry eyebrow of this scientist who, now you've found him, he does look like a sort of stereotypical Einstein type look.
Right. Well, Dr. Vance, we think that man might be Lord de Merval, or at least the cloak might have similar properties as the Lord de Merval's staff. Well, Siegfried told us that you might be able to tell us a bit more about this man, how we could find him, perhaps, or how to kill him.
I mean, from the sound of it, and I've watched the recordings of what happened, and indeed, what happened this morning. If you hadn't seen that.
What happened? Sorry, we all had a lie-in because of
Okay,
our
he's just like
run-in with Eland yesterday.
that fucker. Now that was
he's
good
dead
news.
now.
I know. That is very amusing to me.
He tried to kill us, so we're happy.
Sort of like reaches into a pocket and like grabs out little sort of metal marble, and sort of flicks it into the air, and then it's sort of like a hologram sort of appears around it, and it shows a group of adventurers. Sort of a fairly sort of classical one. There's a minotaur with a big sword. There is a centaur wielding a pair of daggers, and a very cliched wizard, but all of the outfit is in like he looks like he made his like costume out of like twister mat. As well as like for some reason like a kind of obvious Batman knockoff, but not Mothman.
No, it's not Roos. Roos is safe.
It's not Regicide, is it?
No, it's not Regicide either. This
Okay.
this is like this is like giant Batman. Like it's literally a giant who is like the equivalent of
brooding in the darkness.
Yeah,
Centaurs are technically
He can only hide in
insects.
really, really big shadows.
yeah. There's some really big gargoyles are melded. Like you need them for brooding. This yeah. But yes, and you see them sort of like confront this speculative like cloaked figure who seems to be having lunch at the time, and they sort of surround him and he basically obliterates them.
So on this recording, obliterates them as in there is a short fight and he wins very quickly, or he specifically does something and they disappear or they turn into bits of...
Let's say his powers seem to involve like it's a very short fight and it involves large chunks of people being disintegrated.
Okay. And then they immediately turn to ghosts because no one ever leaves Melbourne.
Yes, although that isn't captured on this specific
Right, okay, yeah.
video.
Just for context for the audience,
Yeah.
no one can leave even in death.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
I just imagine at this point that once they've been obliterated and there's like chunks left over, that along comes this like really like posh man with a sweeping brush while it sweeps up the rest of the meat. This will go well in the. This will go well in the garden.
Fucking meat guy.
Yes, let's say that happened.
I need to build a new extension.
Yeah. I need a
ever closer to
sunroom.
being fired.
So obliterated party.
Right.
Yes. I mean, I wasn't paying that much attention, but that does indeed. So you got the Demavol version, did you? In your. Okay, so
The what version? The what version?
okay, so let's put it. So the figure that you've been calling Lord Demavol,
Yes.
he's going quite posh English at this point, for some reason.
He's lived in a lot of multiverses.
Yeah.
He's
He
lived
has a
through a lot.
wandering-
His accent's
has a-
all over the place. He's like
He has
me.
a wandering accent. Someone
Yeah.
just wherever they happen to be with, they could just change accents to whoever they're talking with.
He was an international school kid, okay?
Yeah.
He hasn't quite settled
Interdimensional
onto the...
school.
Yes, he hasn't quite settled on the one accent we all have.
Yes, indeed. I've tangled with him a few times before, but let's say there's a thing in the history books that are kind of a bit embarrassed by him, should we say? Like they call him Lord Demavol, but his real name is Lord Doomforall. Now he's actually went American. I want to stop in general.
Lord Doom for all.
Yes.
Is it spelled with the 4 or with
No,
an FOR?
Doom
One
for
word.
all. Yeah.
Is that a
Did you just
triple
get that
barreled name?
sound?
Or is that one word?
It's one word.
But it's spelled with a number 4, or is it spelled with the word
No.
4?
I mean, to be fair, like it would probably annoy him if you did, so I'm all in favor.
Okay, that's how we're writing it.
What a cliche. Like cliche of a man. I don't like him already.
Sounds like fun.
I've tangled with him a version, and I like he normally had a staff though, and this one looks a bit more fresh faced than old Doomy.
So there are different versions of this person. That
Well,
might they
I
have
mean,
had kids?
I'm speculating here insofar as I haven't identified this person specifically, but it does appear to be a version, or maybe, I mean, this is melded. Like, there's reincarnations, there's clones, there's babies, there's.
What if he had a kid with himself?
I mean, it's happened. I mean,
What if? Let's not go there.
So there might be two of this Doom prick running around.
I mean, potentially. Like, I haven't seen the original in a long, long time now.
Right. Did the original also disintegrate people?
I mean, yes. He didn't do it very often.
Right, but he had the ability to, if he
Oh,
chose.
certainly. He liked to frame himself as this sort of champion of the people. He was functionally overlord of this city for a long, long time, but that was kind of last multiverse cycle, so they wouldn't.
Right.
And you said you had a running in with him in the past. What
Oh,
happened?
lots of them. I thwarted his schemes a few times. He thwarted me a few times in trying to do good and whatnot. He was quite tricky to kill, though. I will grant him that much.
Yeah. So what's his deal? Like, what? How does he fight? How did you beat him? You know, what? Any weaknesses? Anything we should watch out for?
Well,
places he likes to hang out.
from what I understand, he originally got his powers by going to the space between universes.
How?
Oh no.
How?
Oh.
How?
You mean
Boom slang.
how? You mean how did he get the powers, or how did he get between the universes?
Between the
How did he
universes.
get between the universes?
I
I grab him by the shoulders.
Lavinia reaches around, grabs Boomslang's hands, and just lifts them off.
And as you do that,
Lavinia's-
Reginald grabs him round the legs. Is like, how did you do that? Tell me.
I mean,
He's just chilling in the background, just watching everyone.
this was before I knew him that he got his powers. My understanding from trying to study up on the guy, he basically just got a fuck ton of magic artifacts, enough to interacted in such a way that it would kind of let him do that.
Oh my god, it's so simple! Thank you, you're a genius! And I grab him by the face and I give him a smooch on the forehead.
Right. Boomslang, I'm glad that
Yes!
you now know how to do that, and we'll find you a portable hole or a bag that fits everything. What is that called?
A bag that fits everything.
my
That's
backpack.
the technical term.
Yes. Oh, you already have that. We'll find you another one of those, and then you can do that. But we'll need to get out of Melded first.
Okay.
Boomslang,
Yeah,
make a
I'm
quick
together.
perception check.
Oh no,
Who's making a perception check? Me.
you are.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Not the wisest dude in the world, but I rolled okay. That's going to be 22.
Okay. So as you kiss this guy on the forehead, is like his face feels kind of off.
Oh no.
Off how?
Like it doesn't.
Like
It's just a bit rubbery.
If I notice this mid smooch, can I flick my tongue out for a quick taste?
Sure. Make a sleight of hand check, I guess.
What is
Sleight
with
of
your
tongue.
characters and tasting things?
It's an under-
It's helpful.
right? Ask any geologist.
Yeah.
They lick everything.
Yes.
Sleight of tongue. It's not as good. That's going to be a 12.
Right. Let me get his stats up so I can actually check what his modifiers are.
But also,
This guy turns out to be a sewer clown.
but also, maybe,
I mean,
maybe,
it doesn't taste
maybe,
of sewer. I'll give you that.
maybe he might, think that it's just it's a snake guy thing, Like snakes are always flicking their tongue out to.
Oh, he might not think that's weird.
Okay,
right.
But if this guy's a sewer clown, I'm
It's
gonna have
potentially
issues.
the least weird thing about Boomslang.
okay, so what was your roll? Sorry, on sleight of hand.
A big 12, but a big one though.
I'm more worried about the fact that the two characters who plays in Science and Sorcery both love tasting things constantly.
I'll find more opportunities.
There's
less-
like a
less
moment.
not-
So this
Pardon?
it does taste sort of synthetic in some way. There's probably some like latex or like some kind of weird polymers in there.
Boomslang knows what latex smells.
And just as you lick him, he catches it, and you see his eyes just sort of like flick, like just to catch your tongue doing that, and it's very sort of kind of like he's aware that you've done it.
Okay, I will innocently
I
flick
only
my tongue again as if I'm just kind of, tasting the air. Just
That's,
because I'm a snake.
A little more intimate than I would usually go for, but
Sorry, I just get so excited. I don't think the space between worlds means quite a lot to me. For reasons, it's fine.
yeah, I think he got, after he did that, he got given the powers by some kind of entity that lived there.
But
Okay.
Boomslang, this was a long time ago.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are lots of entities that live there. Yeah,
Well, I mean, your
Could have
girlfriend's
been
not
anyone.
been there that long, has she?
I mean, the space between worlds and beings like that, time and space don't really interact with them the way that We do. But it's.
Well, it's not,
I'm sure
it's
it's
not
fine. I'm
gonna
sure
be
it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
She would have given you this power.
It's fine. It's fine.
Why didn't I
fine.
take camo motions today? Oh, I do actually. I did.
As soon as the conversation moves on, I'm gonna cast a message at Regina, I think, and just say, his face is fake. His face is rubber.
If I speak back, can
No, it's all
hear
in my
me
head
and-
when you speak. If you speak back.
Yeah. Okay. When the fuck did you start being able to do this? This is weird. You've never done this before. Can you hear me?
The amount of messing around that goes on up in here. You jiggle it around enough and something will pop out.
So his face is fake.
Yeah, I gave it a little bit of a taste.
Is any of the rest of it? Is any of the rest of him fake? Or is it just his face?
No, I haven't tasted.
Maybe you should taste.
I mean, Dream is standing by.
Boomslang is trying to keep a straight face throughout this conversation when he says maybe you should taste it. But actually, because he's got a snake head, it's quite easy. It's not the most expressive face. But this is all happening, I guess, while the next part of the conversation goes on.
At this point, a second figure enters this breakfast room and just wanders over to another table. Doesn't pay any attention to yourselves or Dr. Vance. Okay, I need you all to tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
How would you imagine the being of death would look?
Is this a DM question or is this an old man in the eating porridge question?
This is a DM question.
Okay.
Okay.
And are you
That's
asking
valid,
us, the players, or you're asking our characters?
Whatever your answer is what the figure that just has walked over and has started serving up muffins to himself looks like. Is where I'm going with this.
For Lavinia, it's just a lot of fire
Hmm.
because it's very harmful to the temple of IKEA.
So yeah, you just see this sort of like being of living fire just
Yes.
walk over and start like buttering English muffins.
Yes.
Little scrambled eggs on them.
Boomslang sees a if anyone knows what a secretary bird looks like, it's like a big, long-legged bird with kind of real mean-looking head and some little head feathers that loves to kill snakes. And it's one of those, but as well as wings, it's got two really beefy arms holding a stick, holding like a whacking stick. So it's a secretary bird with a whacking stick.
Oh god.
Wow.
I'll add that
That's
to the
the
illustration.
next art we.
Yeah. As this is science and sorcery, does anyone have any good secretary bird facts?
They're called secretary birds because their feathers were used as quills because they're really long and have nice long kind of central quills. I think that's the best one I've got.
They're quite fast, aren't they?
Yeah, and they can kick
Long
like
legs.
a motherfucker.
I mean, most birds that live in Africa can. I have a friend who has been in fights with ostriches several times, and some of them survived. But don't fuck with birds.
They are actually very specially adapted raptors, despite their very legginess.
They're also the favourite bird of a previous player on Science and Sorcery. They're Alex Evans' favourite bird.
Well, fuck you, Alex Evans.
Alex, if you're watching, please come back and play again in the future.
Please do. Please bring Bruce back.
Reginald sees it's like the faint outline of Archie Marin.
I should have drawn a mustache on my fingers. I could hold it up right now. Actually,
For Dream, it's actually going to be like a pure black fur Tabaski, but kind of like, but probably with like wings or something. just slightly like a tabaxi, but slightly not.
There's just like these sort of big raven wings that are sort of shrouding around this tabaxi.
Yeah.
Goth tabaxi.
Yeah. So you all see these figures that you have described. Just walking over, getting some muffins, getting a little bit of sausage, just slicing it up, put it on the muffins, and just silently sitting in the corner, eating it. And you see Vengeance, Vance, just sort of clutches like cutlery a bit tighter.
Jean, you seem uncomfortable. Like you don't seem to be sweating, which is interesting. But you seem
I'll say his hands
uncomfortable.
are sweating.
Okay.
Um,
Crosses off Prince Andrew as what? Actually doing.
Yeah, you hadn't just misspoken, Alex. Why did you think it would be Prince Andrew?
It always
face
can.
isn't real.
It always could be. You always have to be prepared that someone you meet is secretly Prince Andrew.
That's the worst thing. Okay. I mean, and he's just like, well, it's death, isn't it? Like, you're not meant to. Like, I'm not afraid of many things in this multiverse or any of, but like, it's death.
But you're in
And
the
he
same
comes here
club.
every fucking morning and has that fucking muffins and scrambled eggs.
Death needs to eat as well. I guess.
I know, but it's on.
And you're in the same club.
Well, as long as they're not eating me, you know.
I mean, like
Stuff to do.
I mean, obviously, like, he's ironically the oldest member of this club, or they, or whatever you see them as.
If death is here, and no one can leave, then how can things still die outside of Melded? And how
Well,
come
there's-
Melded's the only place things can't truly die?
Oh,
Sorry, I'm having a crisis of faith.
that every universe has a death, and they're kind of all the same death, but they're also not the same death.
Okay.
But this is the one that is left over at the end of the multiverse when they all congeal back into one.
Oh.
The dregs
Oh.
of death.
Yeah,
Nice.
congealed dregs of death. That's horrifying. Yeah.
That's
It's
a good
an
band
exciting
name.
that sounds like a
I'm gonna go
vape.
high. I'm gonna go some high.
Congealed dregs of death.
We could market that vape in our shop.
Yeah, we need to go back there. We need to like open the shop up again.
Take
Personally-
inventory at least.
I mean, I do love the idea of running a vape shop with my bandmates, but we could do that outside of Melded. We could do that away from here.
That's true.
So, I want to check because I can see Death, and he looks very familiar. He looks like Boomslang. I've told you about Archie. He looks like Archie Madden.
Ooh, that motherfucker.
What does he look like? Yeah, like what does he look like to you? Do you see like a really ugly bard?
So, did you say bard or bird?
Bard, the human
If Archie
bard.
Maron looks like a really ugly bird, but with really beefy arms and a stick, then yeah. Wow,
That's
man.
not what I'm seeing.
Simpatico. You and me are on the same wavelength.
Oh yes, I wish it was that, but no, a really ugly human bard is what I see.
Yeah, human bird.
Dream, what do you see?
Dream's speaking to death. Like, this...
Oh, you're already away.
oh, right, that seems cool. I'm gonna go speak to them. So, Dream has gone off.
So let's follow that line because I can't wait to see what happens here. So you see this grim cat figure sort of slowly buttering the muffins, just not paying you any heed at all. Are you? Is that you sitting? You just sitting opposite?
Yeah. Hi.
Greetings. Would you care for a muffin?
I would love one.
He passes you a muffin.
So, what's your deal?
I am death.
Cool. Is that metaphorically or like actually? How's that work here?
Both. It's I am the personification of death.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. So just help me out here. When someone kills someone, do you appear?
It depends whether they think I will.
Huh. Okay, so next time I murder someone, I'm going to think of you and hopefully you'll appear. That'd be really fun. We'd like have a little bonding session. It'd be great.
I mean, generally speaking, only the one who's dead can see me at the time.
Oh. Okay. All right. You seem cool. Enjoy your muffin. I'm going to go.
I'll definitely see you at least once again.
I'm gonna, as Dream gets up to leave, Lavinia's gonna cast Sending and send a message to Dream to say, ask him about Lord Doom for All.
Oh, by the way, Deb, do you know this Lord, what's their name?
Doom for All.
Doom for All. Do you know them?
I have known several.
Several? Oh no. There's several.
At this point, Lavinia will just walk over. Excuse me, Dr. Vance, I need to go rescue my friend. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Death? How do people usually refer to you?
Honestly, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Okay, big, great, raging fire. When you say several Lord Doom for Alls, do you mean the same one multiple times, or like descendants of the first one?
The same one multiple times.
Right, so then technically he would have escaped your grasp? Is that... or he would have come back?
There were several... Well, when I say several, I mean infinite multiverses before this one.
Right.
Many of the person who would become Doom for All perished before that would come to pass, and I met them all in turn.
Okay.
Yet, the last one in particular ascended to true potential and did indeed survive the multiverse and me.
Well, that's slightly concerning. Good to know.
Would you
Do
be
know- do you know
interested in?
how?
When you can bend the rift between worlds to your will, very little is beyond your capability.
You know what, that's fair. I could probably have thought of that myself.
Reginara is starting to get really bored of this, and would like to, from where he's standing, cast Dominate on Death.
No!
Okay.
Oh,
Requires a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh
Okay.
no! Time
I'm
for
going to
us
say-
die.
you're gonna piss off Death.
Because death is death, death has basically infinite legendary resistances. And there's just like Archie's like head just turns just slightly further around in its socket than a human head should be able to turn to look at you. It's like, That was very rude. I'm having breakfast here.
Oh, Regina.
What did you do?
You have to try. Like, the conversation's taken a while. Sorry.
Right. Thank you so much, Death. Very much appreciated. We're gonna go.
I did have one question. Sorry, that loose end must really bother you, no? Like, as someone with generally a pretty clean slate on that kind of stuff, would you be interested in having some people settle that score for you? If we could locate this person and you could, finish the job.
There is a thing you are not considering here. Why do you think I come to breakfast in this place of all places every morning except to fuck with all these undying shits?
Does he come here?
I have not seen him here in this multiverse, but I have not seen his end either.
Okay.
And that is unusual in itself.
Well, do you come here because they have the best English muffins?
Also that.
Right.
But also to fuck with them. I mean...
Can Reginald...
except also there is one other reason. And then he somehow whistles, and this little chow just scuttles over. And is like quite a chubby chow. And then Death is like, "Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?"
Oh my god! Hello.
Does the chow look like a horse to Reginar?
I depends how blind Reginar is, I guess. But no,
Yeah, I'm getting on a bit. Looks like a tiny horse.
But this is
Child
Chorbs.
of a movable rod.
This is Chorbs, and he is a very good boy.
Chorbs.
Also, he is unkillable for cosmic reasons, but he is a very, very good boy.
Oh.
Don't worry, we're not going to try and kill Chorbs.
Don't you dare.
There's only one unkillable being on our death list, and that's Doom for All. Or at least we're going to try.
Yeah. So, sorry, you come here because of the dog?
The dog and the muffins and fucking with the immortals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, what would fuck with Doom for All more than killing him?
I mean,
that would be the ultimate prank.
I mean, like I might be Death, but even I understand that murdering is generally not considered a prank. But
I mean, if it happens in a funny way,
we did incinerate a man yesterday in celebration.
Two.
Yeah,
one of those was on purpose.
I mean, I was there.
Oh yeah, of course you were.
Oh, you saw the performance.
Yeah. Solid 7 out of 10.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna go. Thank you so much, and then just start shoving Reginald towards the door.
Very quickly before we leave, Reginald would like to investigate the stump.
Okay. So you head out into this external courtyard, and the way this is set up is it looks like there are in fact let me just double check 20 seats set in a circle of various sizes, and also this stump is positioned as if it would be like the 21st member of, and it is like what would probably have been like a good sort of like 5 foot wide stump, but just with this little bonsai tree like sort of growing out one side, and it looks sort of gnarled, and it does have that same sort of aromatic smell with a sort of like purple silver sheen to it that you did witness in your adventures in our crossover.
I'm not sure what did it, because I can't remember what that was all about.
They don't really have any. Like, you were literally just burning branches of that in that situation that like had already fallen. They weren't sort of plot integral, but they were like very, very magical trees.
Okay, I think I'm going to leave the tree for now. Because I think there's one other thing that we should do before we leave. And I'm going to pass back to either Boomslang or Lavinia at this point.
I don't know how to do this. My curiosity. So this is not Boomslang saying this, but my curiosity has really been piqued by this guy's rubbery face. And I know we've got stuff to do, but if he's got a fake face. We've got to find out what's under there. So I don't know whether to do this the nice way or the obnoxious way.
Oh, obnoxious way. It has to be.
So
You're back.
this is Boomslang. So what happens is, we walk out. We're just out of the threshold, and Boomslang goes, "I'll catch you guys up in a sec," and runs back in, tries to pull off this guy's mask. Whether he succeeds or fails, runs immediately back out.
Lavinia will have followed him as soon as he says, "I'll be right back."
Okay.
She is the mom friend. And the others are murder goblins.
Okay, so make a, I don't know, what is your methodology in this? Are you trying to just rip it off? Are you trying to finagle it off?
Before I go in, I'll be kind of psyching myself up, and I'll cast enhance ability on myself. So I'm going to give myself Cat's Grace.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to just kind of because snake style kung fu, it's very kind of flowing and fluid. With that kind of serpentine technique, going to try and whip it off.
Okay, give me an attack roll with dexterity as your modifier.
So my enhance ability won't help here.
Yeah, it would, because that would add on as well.
Cool. It doesn't normally apply for attacks, but thank you. I appreciate it.
But as if you were doing a finesse weapon, basically.
Okay. So that is going to be. Sorry, my attack modifier is +8, so that's gonna be 21.
Okay, so you just sort of sidle in there and then, and this rubbery.
No, I don't sidle in. I scurry.
Okay,
scurry in,
sorry,
and then scurry out.
Okay, so as you just whip this mask off, and it is just an entire mask of a fake Einstein style professor. It's well, so you saw through my cunning disguise. I don't know what it's actually. It's still okay. He has a Scottish accent. Let's go with that. It won't be represented in my very English accent.
Just get Sam to do the talking.
Yeah.
Send me the lines.
And he whips around, and he sort of casts off his lab coat, and standing before you is a man in a full opera cape and a tuxedo. He still has the top hat on. He's a much younger man than he was initially appears. It's so you saw through my cunning ruse that Dr. Jean Vance is in fact Professor Vengeance. And then he just throws a smoke ball down on the ground and disappears.
I run back out, and I turn to Lavinia, and it's I knew it! I knew it! I knew he tasted off.
How did you take off the mask, but not the top hat?
Well, when you take the tablecloth off a table and you keep all the stuff on it, it's all in the wrist, like that.
Did he have another top hat under the mask?
No, if you pull it off fast enough, then it goes, and the hat just goes.
You know what? Let's just go.
I come back out and I turn to Reginald and I'm told you, and I'm holding the mask.
Okay.
Is there a top hat attached to the mask?
No.
Can I add one old man mask to my inventory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, one of us put the mask on. Like,
That's for the second concert.
yeah. We turn into Slipknot.
But we just
Creepier
have one
somehow.
mask between the four of us. We just all try to get it all
Throwing
at
it to each
once.
other. Did we get instructions of where we're going now?
No.
I mean, you'd previously been talking about robbing the library at this point.
Yeah, we discussed robbing the library.
Yeah, we didn't really get any information on how to track down Doom for All.
Because you got distracted by death and Shorbs and ripping off his mask.
Well done.
I mean, I could try. We know his name, so I could try locating him with a spell, but we'd need a good plan of attack.
Well, I was also going to suggest that we've got Dream. You've got the Nokia 666. Would giving her? Is it Gary? Is that his name?
Ray.
Ray. Oh,
Gary
it
is
was
my,
close.
my
Gary.
summoned
Ray.
demon friend.
I mean,
Ray.
we've now got a name.
Ray, I
You
have
think
pact with. Okay. So I'm gonna call
Ray might know?
Ray the Fae.
I mean, didn't Ray already tell us everything he knew?
Did we know the name at the point when we last?
No,
asked about it?
Ray.
No,
Ray
he just told
told
us about the cape.
Yeah.
If Ray knows anything about Doom for All, that'd be great.
Oh, well, at the same time, do you want me? I could see if I can scry on Lord Doom for All, if you like. Dream, did you still have any of that dust?
Yeah.
Can I have some?
Yeah, I'm gonna cough it up.
Just a hairball.
Oh yeah.
Lovely. I'm gonna add one hairball to my inventory.
You're welcome.
One dusty, ashy hairball.
Dusty.
Your inventories are just
hairball.
getting great stuff this week. Old man mask, dusty ashy hairball.
I mean, we could do both.
Yeah, I mean, there's no harm in doing both, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right,
let's
so
go
I'll
first.
cast scrying.
I'm glet Deckba go first.
I mean, sure.
Scrying,
okay.
is that a saving throw, or do you roll
Yeah,
something?
it's a saving throw for them. Wisdom save,
There's nothing to boost you.
which will be. Have I technically speaking met the target?
No,
Right?
you've seen the target potentially,
Yeah.
so it depends on. You can certainly try. Let's go.
I
with
mean,
that.
well, no, because even if I've just heard of the target, I can still scry. It just depends. It alters the save modifier. If I have
Okay.
first-hand knowledge of the targets, then the save modifier for them is 0. And
Okay.
because I technically, is the dust a body part, or is it like a possession or part of their outfit?
I mean, I know the answer to that. I'm just working out whether you know the answer to that.
Well, no, okay, it doesn't matter. For you, it matters because if it is one of those, they have a negative modifier to their save.
Okay, so it is part of the outfit somehow.
Okay, so -4 to their save.
Okay.
If I don't have first-hand knowledge of the target, but only second-hand, then it is a +5 to their save.
Okay, so I would say. Okay. And what's the DC? Sorry.
16 wisdom.
Okay. So that'd be. Okay. So, and what happens if you fail?
Target isn't affected, and I cannot use the spell against it again for 24 hours.
Okay, so I will say that like you try to do this and it does fail. However, you get the impression that what happens when you try to do this is that it tries to look at 2 people at once.
There's 2 of them.
There's Yeah, there's. It's almost as if you're like on an old sort of 90s TV where you've got like one channel like half tuned in and another channel half tuned in at the same time, but just for like an instant and not enough to get anything useful out of.
Right.
And do you have like any sort of information on, like, if there's two of them, where they both are?
I don't think on a failed save I wouldn't.
No, not on a failed save.
It'd have to be a successful save.
You mean a successful save and a failed
Successful
spell?
save for them, failed
Yeah.
attempt for me, yes.
Yeah.
That's confusing. Right. Dream. When you talk to Ray, I think there might be two of them? Not of Ray, of the guy we're trying to kill.
Okay.
Because my spell didn't work, but it was trying to find two people, and it should only have been trying to find one.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna call Ray on the Nokia 666.
Someone going to make the phone sound effects of an old 90s phone.
No.
What's the doo-doo-doo it made when the phone line was busy?
Down.
Or is it modem noises? Is that what you?
Yeah,
hear?
yeah. That's what it shifted to.
Okay. Is Ray there?
So, have you sort of left out? Where are you guys at the minute? Are you in the courtyard still, or have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ray sort of just like sort of answers on the phone. It's like, Dream, how is it? How are you today?
Good. I met Death. They seem really cool. Anyway, the person I'm trying to kill, I think there's two of them. Can you try and locate them for us?
What? Sorry, who? Do you have more information to go on?
Oh, yeah, the name is Doom for All.
Oh, right. Well, one of them. He did like some Aslan shit. He like sacrificed himself and then like it was quite embarrassing really for us. But that's probably why you can't find that. That was the old one. I would say that this newer one, I am not sensing him in anywhere I know. However, there are two possible reasons for that, which might in some ways help you. Either he has redonkulous shielding, like real top level shit, or he's in a place that is naturally shielded, which there are limited options within the city. Most of which, I mean, the classical place he might be would be within the castle on the rock. That was the seat of his power when he was doing. It's just a ridiculously warded location, and I can't see inside it in the slightest.
Okay.
But there's probably a few other dozen places he could be. But it does. I hope that lowers that down for you.
That does greatly. Thank you, Ray.
No problem at all. Anything else I can do for you today?
No? No, that'd be all for everything for now. Although keep on tabs on Death. I think I want to make friends with them. They seem really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty neat. We have an occasional poker game.
Cool. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Enjoy.
Imagine Death having like a great poker face.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
express the Einstein mask, actually?
It's the beak. You know, the beak doesn't give anything away. There's no tell.
Did you find out,
Okay.
Dream?
Okay, so possibly we're dealing with one of them, really, even though there's two of them. Confusing, I know. But they probably can't find out more about them is because they're either shielded by their own crazy wards and shit, or they're in a place that has really high protection and wards and shit. So Ray suggested Castle on the Rock, but then there could be other places that are like really high magical stuff to protect them.
Well, if we've got a high security place that we know of that we already know is associated with this person, that's probably a good place to start. At least we might get some leads.
Yeah, I'd be up for going to try and have a poke around at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was it for if not sneaking into?
Yeah.
I like the idea that is genuinely Frank's experience of Castle. Specifically
sneaking into and running out of.
Nothing in between.
That's why they have that little door on the side.
And how many
more
times?
than one, even.
How many times has Boomslang wiggled down a garderobe? Is the
more times than he cares to remember.
Do we know where the Castle on the Rock is? Is this a well-known location?
It's on the rock.
Indeed.
I assume there's several rocks in the city.
Okay.
So the one with the castle on it.
The Castle on the Rock is probably the most famous location in the city because Melded is sort of this city that drifts in the void, and it's shaped like a teardrop, and it is the very pinnacle of the teardrop is the Castle on the Rock that everything else sort of suspends below.
So it's like vertically much higher than us, or
yeah. I mean,
how does gravity work on Melded? Is it just north or is it higher?
It's, I mean, because Melded is weird. Like, down is the direction that it's convenient to be down at any given point, and it doesn't necessarily like you will have occasionally just like walked. Like
so to the Castle on the Rock, it's a walk, not a climb.
Yeah. It's also a bit of a tourist trap by all your recognition.
Oh, wonderful.
Tourists.
Your
Like,
explanation of magnetism there is like, I know that Richard Dawkins would listen to that and go, like, he would be disgusted by it, and I fucking love it.
Yes!
Hate it.
Fuck you, Dawkins. There's someone else you can make us fight at some point.
I was just considering that. It's like I hadn't thought of him.
Me neither.
Yes,
He's actually he's a golem made entirely of doors and gates and stuff. He's a door.
And I was going with a character called Dick Duckins, the duck, but that's.
All right.
I don't want to know what Dick Duckins' being is.
None of us want to know. Well,
Boomslang says,
back our Patreon
I'm gonna have...
if you want to the party to fight Dick Duckins.
Tourists! I'm gonna have to get so drunk.
We still have
We need to go to a tavern.
We do still have all those vapes as well. There's a few we haven't tried yet.
I mean, the last
and
one.
If it gets too busy,
spicy.
we'll use the hero sacrifice.
Which one's that?
The one we incinerated the guy with.
Yeah, but it was quite spicy.
I could take care of that.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably leave it. Leave that one to you for now. I'll try another one.
Or I'll get the
For the
sharks.
first time, a drug that Boomslang doesn't want. A cosmically unique event.
He said for now. he's a once incinerated, temporarily shy type guy. You know? You know, like when you wake up hungover and you're like, "Oh, I'm never drinking again," and then you go to the pub the next day
and blow up a guy.
Yeah, it's like when you accidentally incinerate yourself and someone else, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm never incinerating myself and someone else again," and then you do it a couple of days later.
I call it a process. Yeah.
Are we going drinking before we go up to the castle?
I mean, we could get some road drinks. I don't mind. You know, we
I
don't need
think
to
road
stop.
drinks. Because I'm not drinking. It's a bit early for me. The sharks will get weird again.
I'll have one for you, Lavinia.
Perfect.
Well, we could swing by Noirville, get a couple of black and white whiskies, and then head up.
Yeah, that's on the way. I mean, everything.
I've
is,
still
isn't
not
it?
been to where was it I needed to go, and I really feel like I should go if I'm going to go up to this.
Was it? Is it
Castle
the
of the
zoo
Manatee.
again, Reginar?
No, it's not the
Because
zoo.
we've been 4 times this week alone.
I know, but we can go back again, right?
Every
Was it-
time that duck
You
family
still looking
sees
for that
you, I'm
duck?
worried you're going to get thrown into prison again.
Was it Jefferson the Manatee you wanted to go?
Yes, the artisan quarter. Like, I really want to go to the artisan quarter. Because I could really do with some. I need some.
We
more
could get some
protection.
artisanal whiskies instead of black and whites.
Can we go
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
Shake
artisan
things up a
quarter?
little.
Like,
So okay, you head to the. So are you heading to the artisan district?
yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
So you head
Alex,
to
do we
the-
want to
yeah.
take a break as well?
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's probably a fairly good point. Also, because I don't have a
You
plan
can
for this. So
Sorry.
It's closed. It's closed today. Come back tomorrow.
yeah.
You arrive at the artisan district and you see
It's
a smoking
it's,
crater.
it's street cleaning day.
Yeah,
It's
just
street
like-
cleaning day, and everyone has to stay indoors.
There's
If
just
we
a
need to go
rock
another
in the
day,
way
I
that
will
you
go
for some
another
reason can't get round. It's just like an old
Well,
like.
there's like a
Game Boy
knee-high
game.
wall.
Yeah.
It's an impassable
Well-
barrier.
But for Reginar, that's quite tall, isn't it?
yeah.
So how long's our break?
Okay,
10 minutes.
5 minutes?
10 minutes.
10
10
minutes?
minutes. I don't know.
Split the
Five-
difference. 7?
7.
7
Sure.
minutes. Meet back at 20 past.
Yes.
2020.
Fabulous.
2020. Vision. All right. See you all very shortly.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great time watching our show tonight. This is just a very quick shout out for one of our great friends, the Tabletop Titties, the weekly queer and feminist TTRPG live stream team who are back for their 3rd season and it's running right now. And they're once again going to be streaming both Dungeons and Dragons and Vampire the Masquerade. They're live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific with all new characters, exploring an all-new premise, Escaping Tezora, which follows a group of friends who are sucked into a high fantasy escape room, having to fight their way out with the help of their newly acquired avatar bodies, equipped with powerful new skills. This show will explore themes of self-discovery, knockoff pop culture references, chosen family, intrigue, and queer culture. And then, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Pacific, Titties by Night returns with its 2nd season, and the stakes have never been higher. With the recent release of Bram Stoker's Dracula, the city of London is bound to panic over the alleged existence of vampires. Will the investigators of the occult and unusual be able to hold back the wave of fear, or will they break under the pressure? Good thing they'll have 2 new kindred joining the coterie. Catch the streams live at twitch.tv/tabletop titties. Or you can catch up with video on demand at www.youtube.com/tabletop titties.
Welcome back. We're back. We're all back. Khalil and Alex have switched places. I was confused for a second.
Now I'm the DM.
No, you're not.
Or it's just Mark.
He's been Einstein the whole time? No, we're back, Alex. Let's go visit the artisanal quarter.
Yes, you are going to the artisanal quarter, aka Little Portland, where
Are there a lot of riots?
they don't like to talk about that.
ACAB.
Yeah. Yes. So you find a small. When I say small, it's a decent sized little area. There's lots of shops selling peculiar, like handcrafted bits and bobs of various merit and use, with a selection of melded's more peculiar clientele. Although they all seem to be wearing plaid for some reason. I would say, well, that's a slight exaggeration. Most of them appear to be wearing plaid because, as you're sort of entering into the sort of central market area, following the instructions, Boomslang and Regina recognize a familiar figure.
Oh no.
Behind a stall.
Who was seeing?
You are seeing Dorothea, and she is. She is running what appears to be a merch stall. It's like and she's just like crying out, like, "Get your Battle of the Bands merch here! Get your Battle of the Bands merch here!" And there's just like just a picture, like right at the front is just like Boomslang, just like shirtless. Like,
So Reginald wants to like turn and like start like tugging on like Boomslang's leather jacket, going, "BS, BS, 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 BS. Look, 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 look."
Oh fuck! Don't make eye contact. Don't.
Would you like to be invisible?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Dorothea! Dorothea!
As he's yelling, I'm gonna cast Greater Invisibility on Boomslang.
So does the invisibility kick in before Dorothea sees me?
I think she sort of like. She's like, "Oh, I thought Boomslang was with you for a second there. Oh well, I'm sure I'll see him again soon. I've got my neck tattoo planned.
So did you say neck tattoo?
Next.
Oh.
Although now you say it, a neck one would be pretty cool.
Yeah, right. I think it would look really good. Like you could do it like all the way around, like coiling around your neck.
I like it, like he's hugging me around the neck. That would be
Yeah, really intense little hug.
That's called strangulation, Regina. Hi, you're a friend of Regina's.
Oh, I'm his biggest fan. No, not
Regina's.
I'm Boomslang's biggest fan, and I know Regina.
I've heard of you. He's mentioned you. I'm Lavinia. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, you must be the rest of the Flaming Heteros. I've got like Flaming Heteros merch, and it's all like, just like all of you, but like Boomslang is like 3 times the height of the rest of you.
Can I
was
go
gonna
over
grab
to
the shirt, but I can't find it.
Can I
we
go
have
over
Flaming
to...
Heteros merch. Buy it.
Yeah.
Can I go over to the stall and like I want like Boomslang is so torn between vanity and kind of the desire not to interact with Dorothea, and so I'd like to kind of, while this conversation is happening, sidle over to the stall and like just kind of take a t-shirt and leave a few gold.
Okay.
Because I'm not stealing from the blue bubble stall.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Feels like it's worth mentioning for anyone who didn't see last week's episode. Boomslang and Reginald met Dorothea in prison.
Yeah, Dorothea stalked me to jail, and the only way to get her to leave us alone, or to leave me alone, was for us to through a circuitous quest, get her a holographic 3D tattoo of Boomslang and his signature on her chest.
For which she exchanged her finger.
Which
Yeah,
is
she swapped the finger for it. Oh god. Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna nick a t-shirt, but like not nick it. I'm gonna put some money down.
Okay. Can you all make a quick perception check?
18.
19.
11.
Also, it's worth mentioning the
18.
invisibility only lasts for a minute.
Okay. So I will say with all of those scores, you notice that, like obviously, like Dorothea has getting a bit of a capitalist brain on her, and she's like doing merch for other bands in the competition as well. Like the Flaming Heteros are like right up in center, and it's just like 50% Boomslang, just like close, loving portrait. It's like the kind of portrait that like some like teenager would like kind of slightly crude, embarrassing anime style drawing.
kind of like deviant art type.
Yeah. But just like you've got like love hearts in your eyes.
You do know
really
you have
want
to
this
draw this
t-shirt.
now, Alex.
I really want this t-shirt.
You're gonna have to draw it now. I'm
Okay,
afraid.
fine. I'll add it to the list with the beefy secretary bird.
I think Alex's list of things to draw is so long.
Yeah,
Our Red Bull
Maybe
story
we
is
should-
getting so good from this campaign.
It's gonna make no sense to anyone, but yes.
like all you people watching, you're getting exclusive behind the scenes knowledge of what the fuck these shirts mean. That's how you know you're the coolest, most exclusive club.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Thanks. Don't trade your fingers for merch, though.
No, we don't accept fingers. This is a very specific policy we have. And also
Toenails
Red
on
Bubble
there.
has that policy as well. Yeah, you notice there's a few other bands names there. There is, however, a figure. One of them, the sort of like, it's nowhere near as much as Flaming Heteros much, but there seems to be merch for another band there. And this band is called Thirst Trap. And
Sam looks annoyed.
Do we
And-
know? Have we heard of Thirst Trap before?
you have not heard of Thirst Trap, but oddly enough, three of you recognize different beings in this picture of Thirst Trap. Lavinia, you recognize a certain relative of yours with a grudge.
That bitch!
Regina,
I knew she was here.
you recognize Archie.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
And Boomslang, as the lead singer, you recognize a certain refreshing beverage man who is legally distinct as the lead singer of Thirst Trap. Is this like jug of coloured beverage who's smashing through a wall?
Okay, first shot makes sense now.
There is a fourth figure who Dream like feels like she should know, but it's just like he's just like this brooding guy in like a kind of witch hunter outfit, and he's like, I have no idea who this guy is, but he looks strangely familiar.
Is that Gary?
Boomslang is seeing the So what's the name of this beverage person?
His name is Refreshing Beverage Man.
Okay, yeah. So seeing refreshing beverage man is especially triggering after the mention that Doom for All had been consorting with an otherworldly being in the gap between worlds, and so he's particularly sensitive to this at the moment, and so he doesn't say anything because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself because Dorothy is there, but he probably reaches into his bag and like pulls out a handful of something and just ingests it just to kind of thing instead.
Oh yeah, because you did have
take
like
the
2
edge off.
bags of drugs.
Yeah, I've got the giant bag of drugs. Yes.
Drugs. Okay, let's roll a d20. Tell you what, I have a perfect table for this that I made for another
Of course
campaign.
you do. The random drug table.
If you're watching
Okay.
this, Han, like I made such a long list of drugs for that group.
So is this a straight D20 roll? No modifiers.
Yeah, just a straight d20 roll.
17.
Okay, let's have a look.
Why do my characters always end up getting fucked up?
I think because they consume things. It's only yourself. Okay, so what you consume is you're feeling quite mellow now.
Good.
Okay, roll me a d20.
Again,
Yes.
nat 20.
Okay.
I hope that's good.
So you for the next hour have advantage on perception checks. This you have consumed just like a bundle of what's called Boggart's oregano. It has very variable effects in whether it makes you very attentive or not attentive at all, and you have lucked out this time. It tastes like oregano, but as if it had been dredged out of a boggart.
I mean, he's tasted worse.
Yeah.
But okay, so Boomslang's basically taking ADHD medication.
Sure.
Alex, did we ever establish a name for Lavinia's cousin?
I think we did, but I don't have it to hand.
Okay, me neither.
Gertrude.
Gertrude. Cousin Gertrude. Gertie.
Okay. That is
Cousin
now
Gertie.
lore that was there the whole time.
I don't think we ever came up with a name. I think I just said, I have a cousin, she's a bitch.
Can I just like point out very quickly? It's probably been more than a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
in this
invisibility.
exposition,
Yeah.
yes,
I'll say
definitely.
I'll say
No, alright.
you've got like 5 seconds to go. Let's say just to
Okay,
make.
does Boomslang know that he's got 5 seconds to go?
I mean, he's been hanging around Lavinia for a bit,
True,
so
yeah.
he might
Okay,
know
so
how long.
he's probably gonna like use that time to try and like either blend into a crowd or hide behind a bus stop or something.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Do I have advantage because I'm invisible or no?
Well, I would say because this is a stealth check for once you're not invisible, you're
Sure,
basically
sure.
getting in position.
Oh, and I still have enhanced ability though. I gave myself Cat's Grace. Has it been more than an hour?
I think you're probably okay for that. Just about.
Good, because I rolled bad on that first roll. That's going to be 21.
Okay, so 21. Now, what I'm going to say with Dorothea is that she, for very specific reasons, is basically, you know how Rangers have a favored enemy? Like, she has, like, a favored obsession, and it's you. So I would say she has advantage on spotting you. So that would be, her perception is probably not that great. So what was your roll, sorry?
21.
One shy for her, so she doesn't spot you. There's just like she just like smell Boomslang, and then she looks around. You're just like, oh shit!
And while that's happening, Lavinia's going, sorry, but that band, Thirst Trap, are they here?
Oh yeah, they're like the favorites right now.
I mean,
they're not as good as you, obviously.
Flip. Or try to flip the stall.
Make a strength check.
It's not gonna go.
That,
Come on. If there was ever a time for a nat 20.
or nat 1.
No, Sam's had enough nat 20s at
Yeah.
convenient
I have.
moments.
It's 15.
Okay, so I would say you it's 15, but you are quite small, so you don't have much leverage. I would say with that you're going for a big dramatic gesture, and you do flip it, but it just kind of gets tangled in the tent curtain behind it. And it's a bit disappointing.
Well, I tried. I'm
What did you
still
do that for?
pissed off though.
Like,
You're standing right in front of another band. You say those guys are the favorite. So you love
Yeah.
Boomslang.
yeah, they're not as good as you. You'll totally beat them. But like, they're who the pundits are backing right now.
Yep. Yeah. Fine.
That-
You're selling us stuff. You're not helping the message.
That's impossible. Sorry, one of the members is my cousin Gertrude, and she is she has no stage presence. Let me tell you.
I mean, that's what I was saying. They suck. Like, you guys are amazing. I imagine. I was only listening to Boomslang, to be honest. But
But wait, were you there yesterday?
oh yeah. I was up in the audience and I was taking sketches.
Oh, good, good. I'm sure
I got to
Boomslang
prep
will
my
love
merch.
that.
There's going to be like one where he's going to be like, he did that thing where he set himself on fire with
Several
like, the light
times,
beam,
yes.
and there were sharks. And so
Yeah,
he's gonna be
those
like,
are mine. They're here.
Ooh.
Sharks just come out from behind Lavinia where they
my
were
pet one.
hiding. I mean, they're ghosts, so it'll be difficult, but you could try. Don't bite.
She tries to pet it, but it just goes out.
Sorry, the spectral and cursed.
Like,
Probably
how
best
much?
you don't touch
How
them.
much would it cost to get like a private show from you guys? Like, obviously, Boomslang has to be there. Like,
Well, no, of course we're a band. We can't perform without our members. Regina, I've never.
I'm going to cast message
Scheduled
to Lavinia and say, look, the only thing that would be worth this is the whereabouts of Doom for All.
I mean, well, we would love to do that. The problem is, we're trying to find this guy, Lord Doom for All. Do you know where he is? Because if we found him, then we'd have time to put on a show.
she looks like intensely around and just like, I have never heard of that person, but if it gets me my Boomslang show, I will totally find out everything I can for you.
Okay, he's
Like-
very dangerous, so like, don't get yourself killed. But if you find out anything about him, then
Like, I will go on all the fan forums and maybe someone will know.
brilliant. We're staying at Siegfried the Collector's. So you'll find us there. Well, you can leave a message for us there. We're not in very often.
She's just
We're
looks
trying to
like
find
you've
this
just
guy.
given her the most beautiful piece of information you could have possibly given her.
She's now got to
To keep-
stalk the blaze.
Oh,
You
Dunbar
doxed
knows
me.
that. Lavinia thinks this is just a nice, helpful person.
Dream kind of looks just kind of wide-eyed at Lavinia, like, did you just... Why did you do that?
I mean, it's not like we're home that often because we're trying to find this guy or at band practice.
She looks like she would hide and wait for us to get back.
Well, that's fine.
We just
Not
flash
the
forward
plan.
to this evening, and Boomslang's lying in bed, and he just thinks he hears breathing underneath.
and he's like, you know what? I don't want to know, and he just doesn't look.
Lavinia is not fully aware of everything that's going on between Boomslang and Dorothea.
Whilst this is going on, just to keep Dorothy on the sweet side, I'm just going to cast Mending to bring that stall back to
Okay.
nice looking state.
Yeah. Okay. And just as it all sort of comes back, there's just like Archie Marin's face, just at your eye level, looking at you in t-shirt form.
I'm having fun with this. Am I gonna have to play two characters, Alex?
I have plans.
Okay, cool. Get my brother on. He looks just like me. He actually has a mustache.
So,
Well, lovely to meet you, Dorothea. But I'm afraid I think Regina was meeting a friend, so we're gonna have to take off now. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you at our next gig.
Ooh,
And
can I get you to sign some of these shirts, and then I can sell them for like twice the price?
sure,
no.
Regina.
Fine.
I was about to roll an intimidation check. Angry half orc.
It wasn't you. It was the shark that was behind your shoulder that made me.
Yeah.
I think I mean I already have advantage as a half orc, but I think I'd get extra advantage with the sharks. The sharks will just try and bite some of the merch, but it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, she brings out some like gold special fabric pens. That I think she probably was hoping you would turn up at some point. I mean, obviously, if you get Boomslang to come over and sign them to complete the whole set, that'd be amazing.
We can try to fake a signature for now.
It's not the same.
That's true. But you could sell them at higher value.
She like
Others don't
ponders
need to
this.
know.
Could I use prestidigitation to fake a signature on it, and then it'll disappear after an hour? I feel it's mean, but I could do it, right?
I mean, I would allow it. I think.
I just don't want my buddy BS having to put up with this BS.
I love how much more you two like each other after the flashback episode from last week.
They just remembered.
Alternatively, Lavinia can cast Borrowed Knowledge and give herself proficiency in one skill for the duration, so she could give herself proficiency with a forging kit, I guess.
With calligraphy or something.
I imagine Boomslang and Reginald's relationship goes kind of close distant, because Boomslang's not an easy guy to be friends with.
He is not. I think Lavinia is more like a preschool teacher with him. Alright, we sign some shit. We go to meet the manatee.
Jefferson the manatee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the manatee.
Yes. So you you follow the instructions you'd been given in session 1. Go back and watch our stuff if you're joining us now. So find out what we're talking about. And it's basically like Jefferson is indeed also dressed in like a plaid shirt. Plaid. Yeah. Plaid. And then he basically is in sort of like one of these like greasy like workshop type environments. He's like on his back on one of those like things under tinkering with this like mechanical battle suit at the minute. Regina, mate, what was his voice again? There's something like this, I think it was. Regina, you're back. Nice to see you. What could I do for you today?
Hey, Jefferson. Jeff, I think we decided I could call you Jeff. I promised I'd come and visit.
Yeah, well, this is the home base. I do my work here in the workshop. Build like battle suits and mechs and funny robot arms and things.
And he gives you a little tour around. Shows you some various inventions and concoctions and whatnot. Anything particular you want to see, or just?
Well, I feel like for our upcoming Battle of the Bands, I might need to try and invest in a mech suit myself.
Oh my god! Yes.
But like a smaller one, like I am quite small. So I'd love to see if there's any halfling-sized mech suits for sale.
Well, I mean, I generally build these things to order, but I could certainly concoct you up something, and if it was on Battle of the Bands, that'd be amazing advertising for me.
How long would it take you to knock something up?
He sort of it would more or less depend on what you wanted it to do. Like the more elaborate, the more expensive, and the more time consuming.
Okay. So I think what I really need is I don't need a lot of protection. I just need flamboyance. So I am imagining, and this is for the DM, that it will look like an Elton John suit. So something that Elton John would have worn in the 1970s.
Yes.
So like a blue jumpsuit style with lots of kind of silver stars on it, and has the ability to fire pyrotechnics.
Oh,
That's
that's
not gonna go wrong at all.
no. Oh, well, I could certainly do something like that. I'm picturing perhaps it could have different like feather boas and like feathers and plumes that it can like make a little display behind you that you program. So you can have like a huge aura of rainbow feathers, and then it all just shrinks in, and you get big ones out the sleeves or whatever.
As long as they're fire retardant, then I'm all good with that.
Oh, of course.
And the other thing is that I would love, because I know if things go right, I know who I'm going to be up against. I would love for the feet to extend into a big boot.
When you say big boots, what sort of thing do you mean? Like
I like a very tall heel, very sharp and thin.
I mean, I could have like retractable heels that you could extend to your heart's content.
Yes, perfect. That's exactly what
it's
I'm
just like
for.
I like big boots, and I cannot lie.
That's my
Costume
whole life
I'm
model.
picturing is Weird Al Yankovic's peacock costume from when he performed this way, his parody of Lady Gaga's Born This Way, which my brother saw live in concert. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should look it up.
I mean, I'm look at that now.
As soon as you start talking about feathers, that's where my mind went.
I mean, but it's also bringing up the Masked Singer Peacock, and I think it's like halfway between the two.
Yeah, I think so. So how long?
Like more
is
glittery than.
that something you can do for me, Jefferson?
oh yes. Let's see. It's like I have to talk to my feather supplier, of course. Well, I could have that done for you. And I appreciate you not beating me up back in that fracas. That was much. So I can do it at cost. Maybe 1,500 gold.
Do you
be
provide
ready.
credit?
Fun.
Do you provide it on credit?
I mean, you could put a deposit down now and then pay the rest on delivery.
I can front you some if you want.
Well, I think if we put a deposit down, what would we say, 10%?
Yeah, that sounds quite reasonable.
Okay. Just a general question. How much gold do people have in their inventory? Because
I have 1,500.
Yeah, I have 1,500 as well.
I have
okay.
I have 1,170, but that's because I bought something.
Yeah, I was.
Oh yeah, I bought some artifacts of IKEA.
And
I have a bag of screws and a meatball recipe.
Okay, so yeah, I'll put down 150 gold deposit on this mech suit.
Okay. So that I might not have it ready for the next round, but certainly for the semi-finals and onwards.
Grand. That sounds good. That's when I think I'll need it.
Okay, I will add just receipt for mech suit, feathery mech suit.
Yep.
Feathers
Amazing.
and pyrotechnics is definitely not gonna go wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I mean, they are explicitly fire retardant, so
Yes,
yeah.
I mean, there's some.
I mean, technically, so is boom slang.
I mean, I know a guy who can get a what they called house phoenixes. You can dye their feathers any color and totally fireproof.
Well, don't they turn to ash still?
Oh, only in like the special fire.
Oh, right. Well, perfect then.
Yeah.
So Jefferson, keep in touch. Let me know when it's ready. But folks, I think we need to go to the rock with the castle on it.
I think we need to go to the castle on the rock. Yes.
Okay.
But looking forward to this mech suit.
I'm sure
I'm looking forward. Oh, and he takes your measurements as well while we're here.
just like a bit sort of like measuring your inseam and.
It's awkward.
Yep.
Keep your flippers away.
He has no opposable digits or digits. I assume he has like little robot arms that do this stuff for him.
Makes sense.
So, anything else you want to do in the artisan quarter?
We'll just very quickly grab some drinks on the way, but like we don't need to narrate that. You know, we just we turn up at the castle with drinks.
And I mean, they're only like pretentious home, like
microbrewed.
Yeah.
Oh, hoppy. Ugh. It's just a cup of hops.
Catches the back of your throat. It's not
nice. Right. So as you head up to the castle, you find that it is indeed like it's surrounded by forest on most sides, on sort of like fairly steep rocky cliffs. But as you approach the sort of main entrance, it's just kids everywhere. There's like just families. There's like a tourist group from the lower city where a load of like pixies wearing those like ugly like shell suits from the 80s. It's just chaos. There's like drink stands, but they're all horrifically overpriced. And as you sort of get further up, you see that you can't actually even get in the castle itself. Like you can, there's sort of like various pamphlets being head out, and you somehow get like handed one of those like things that where you sort of hold it up to your ear like a phone on a stick. To listen to the sort of commentary of this place, and it's mostly very boring. It's like
I hate guided tours,
especially when you can't go inside. What's the point? I can see it from the outside.
There is like a guy. He is a small beluga floating in a bubble, and he has a little lanyard that says "official tour guide" next to it. He's like, "Oh, it's not for lack of trying. We are, in fact, unable to go inside. That's a castle on the rock fact. Nothing has been able to breach the defenses of the castle. There have been like nuclear lasers, and there was a Godzilla one time. You just can't get in there. Like we have installed like railways that not railways. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Railways. There's a little miniature railway that is like on struts that like lets you get a little tour around the castle. It is also horrifically overpriced, but you can. And there's a little visitor center that's built next to it.
Sorry, have we always been unable to go inside?
Oh yes, no one's ever been.
Why is that never advertised when people talk about this place?
Because that's not what people want to think when they come here. They're like, and we sell up the mystery angle as like, what's inside? Nobody knows.
I could use the emerald. That could work.
I feel like if anyone's tried to get inside, it will have been Eland with his Chaos Emerald.
Yes. It was.
You tried the Chaos Emerald?
Oh no, he built this little submarine. No one quite understood how it was supposed to get him in there. He was going to post a submarine through the letterbox, but there wasn't even a letterbox. He just built a submarine for a letterbox. I don't really understand.
Well, in that case, we could try the Chaos Emerald dream.
Right.
We could.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's think about if there's another thing we could try.
I mean, I've always, no, not always, but I've occasionally had success getting in and out of places through the sewers.
Oh,
everyone's
God.
got a shit.
We do have those
what
fumigation masks, actually.
We've got one fumigation mask.
I think we all had one, don't we?
I think
no.
you had one.
I have one.
I thought.
I
Do
have
we all
one.
have one?
I
Yeah, I think you all had one.
I think Alex Splandau gave us all one because he was fumigating.
I must have left it behind.
We can get you another one. Alex, can I take
It's alright,
a
I'm immune to
moment?
poison and disease. You can have mine, Reg.
Okay, cool. Thanks, BS.
Right. Can I take a moment? How big do we know how big the castle grounds are, right?
Yeah.
How big are they?
So now I have to contextualize how big a castle is in
Sorry.
units.
Yeah. I hand my fumigation mask to Reg, and I get the old man mask ready.
I would say,
But it's stretched over a snake head,
A
so
snake's
it looks
head.
grotesque. It's all like out of proportion. It's like looking at it in a spoon.
There's like a moustache in your neck down there.
Yeah, it's like it's on my face, but it's not on the rest of my head.
Your tongue just keeps coming out one of the eye sockets. So I would say that the overall grounds are probably about let's go with about a kilometer
Jeez, okay.
diameter. The actual
Right.
castle itself,
The bit we can't
probably
get
about
in.
half that.
Okay. I'm
About
gonna
500 meters
take.
square.
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is gonna be a long shot, but I'm gonna try it. Lavinia's gonna cast Locate Creature, and focus on Lord Doomfall.
Mhm.
And if he's within 1,000 feet, so that's about 300 something meters,
Okay.
I will know where he is. 304.8 meters.
Curse you, Imperial system. Okay, so you cast that.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So you get. So how do you visualize this kind of being represented to you? Just
So you know those fake TVs or those disconnected TVs they put up in IKEAs to show you what like the side table will look like and stuff?
right. Yeah.
I just suddenly picture myself sitting on a sofa
Yeah.
and seeing this TV, and suddenly an image appears.
Okay.
But
So-
I'm just standing there. But that's just like it's an out of body type of
Okay.
experience.
So I would say
It's
upon
mind
this this Mind TV,
Yes.
upon the Mind TV, you're getting it like something pings, like he is within that distance, kind of, like it's sort of like flickering between there and not there.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you. Now I think Dream's gonna head off on a little quest of her own. I think, Alex.
No worries. I mean, if we want, perhaps we can just wrap there for this week anyway.
We do have a castle to get into. That's not a
Yeah.
short.
It's
that's
not
a
No,
gonna be a
it's- yeah.
half-hour thing. No.
No.
All right, we know he's there, but not there, which probably just means he's got his fucking cloak on him, or some shit. So.
or his clone on him. Because there's two, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for watching. Legend of the Flaming Heteros will be back in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, if you're missing Science and Sorcery content, no you're not. We're back end of this week on Friday, 7 p.m. for Dragon Drag Race shenanigans. Alex will be there. They'll be one of our players. Next week we have All That Glitters is Gold, which should be a lot of fun as well. On Wednesday, next Monday, I think, Sam, we might do some streaming. Stardew Valley?
Yeah, I think
Try that
we're
out.
gonna either play Stardew Valley or Pokemon Snap, one of the two.
Yeah, we'll
We've
do
got
one of
loads
those.
of choices. Yeah.
Yep. So,
I imagine people will be very very sad to not go back to Pokemon.
we'll
like
get
the
back to
original
Pokemon Blue and Dickstring the Caterpie at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
You can just make out the cross stitch hanging by my bedside table. It's beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Support our charities on Ko-fi. Support us on Patreon. Buy some merch, and we'll see you very soon. Good night.
Bye, folks.
Bye.